All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Austin and welcome to Hotman's 2022. It's actually a great pleasure to see all of you. It's been, I think, more than 2 years since I met a bunch of you, so it's really awesome that you could all make it down here. I'm Aditya Akela. I'm at UT Austin and Google, and with me are Neeraja and Ranveer. Neeraja and I are co-general chairs, and Ranveer is the program chair. And we want to welcome all of you to what I think will be a really fun 2 days of networking discussions, right? So I just wanted to take a few moments to talk about a couple of things, and then we'll get the program started. First of all, Hotnets would not have been possible without a lot of things happening behind the scenes, starting with our industrial sponsors, who had a significant role to play in financially supporting the conference and sort of like helping us set up all the logistical things that you see happening behind the scenes. Special thanks to Cisco, to Google, Meta, Microsoft, and VMware. If representatives of these organizations are in the audience, please accept our heartfelt thanks. I see Jeff, I see Young Jin, thank you so much. Ranveer from Microsoft. Also, a special thanks to SIGCOM. They provided support for the student travel grant, and we were able to support, I think, 8 students travel to Hotnets this year. So again, special thanks to them. And of course, a huge thanks to Ranveer and Radhika for putting together a fantastic program and really kind of working closely with us in setting what I think will be a really fun tone for the workshop. Unfortunately, Radhika couldn't be here, but we were glad that Ranveer could make it, and hopefully Radhika will join us virtually as well. Okay, and a lot of things happened in the last month or so, and really putting the workshop together would not have been possible without the help of 3 people who I really want to take a moment to recognize. We had Costas, who's in the audience here. He did a tremendous job pretty much on 24/7, helping us with web registration. He ran the Hotnets lottery and sort of like pretty much did a lot of the work to set the gears rolling. We have Dayo Kim from MSR joining UT Austin shortly, who handled student travel grants, and Yan Feng Lei from Intel, who handled publications. And they are not, neither of them could be here, but huge thanks to all of them. Thank you, Kosti, and thank you all of you. And again, in the last 3 weeks or so, a bunch of students from UT Austin really stepped up and made everything possible here. I think we see one of them here, Divyanshu, who's here. He's the AV master, and you probably met a bunch of them downstairs at the registration desk. Adney, Brian, Divyanshu, Jeshin, and Tao, they've handled all the things from like designing your badges to taking care of food and everything. It's been tremendous. And again, I don't think Neeraja and I would have been able to pull it off without these guys, burning the midnight oil. So thank you, student volunteers. So really quickly, a couple of points about the program logistics. There is a Slack channel that you can all join to follow the discussions. And there's also another Slack channel for any help you might need from the volunteers or from the organizers. So please join them, and you can sort of monitor the discussions of papers and such over there. For Q&A during the sessions, the live audience, we really encourage you to use the microphones to step up and ask and participate live. That's the point of an in-person Hotnets, is to see live discussion. However, the Slack channel is also an avenue for you. For example, if you have questions after a session or you want to continue following discussion on a paper, you can do that on Slack. And of course, there are a bunch of, I think, online participants, they're going to use Slack, but really use the opportunity to speak in person while you're here. And until yesterday, we did not have links to all the PDFs. They are now available, so you can kind of access them off the Hotnets workshop page, and you should be able to see all the papers and read them along as the presentations go on. Okay.
Hi everyone. I'm Neeraja Yadvarkar. I'm a new faculty here at UT Austin in the Department of ACE. And I was really happy to co-general chair with Aditya this year for Harassment. Really quickly, I wanted to go over our logistics. Ranveer would be talking more about what the program is going to look like, what are we going to do, what the format is and everything. I just wanted to come here and say that we are, the total attendees this year has been 114. This is the first year after the pandemic, after the couple of virtual editions of Hotnets, right? So we were hoping to get you all together. This has been a very exciting journey for both of us, at least, in addition to everybody who helped us. So we have 114 registered attendees here. We gave 2 authors invitations to join for paper, and so we have 50 who register. We invited 16 guests for here. There is also participation from organizing program committee, and as Aditya mentioned, there are travel grant winners thanks to SIGCOM. There were lottery winners, 24 of them, and we have student volunteers here. While it's not really required, we strongly encourage for everyone to mask up. Ask us for masks that are already here. Except for speaking, perhaps that's what we would encourage. You do need a permit for parking. Is this breaking? Okay. You need a permit to park. Okay, and so if you don't have, please ask us. And for dinner, we have put together a list of suggestions for you. So that was part of the welcome email, but we can suggest more. Particularly student volunteers are a great resource for that. So reach out.
So once again, if people want additional masks, there are some by the drinks on the food table, so feel free to grab them.
All right, and lastly, on my end, I'm going to talk about a little bit about. Basically, this is me standing here to just remind ourselves to be nice, right? Genuinely, just be nice. I mean, we are here to have an open exchange of ideas, and so the key thing is to be respectful in every way we can. Okay, this is just a reminder. I'm sure we all understand that, right? So please avoid any kind of unacceptable behavior that you wouldn't like to be done to you. Avoid that. I think that's a simple rule to follow, right? And if you experience anything that is unacceptable, feel free to reach out to us, any of us, or there is an official channel, SIGCOM Cares, you could reach out to. Some of these things we understand can be really hard to talk about, so they are happy to arrange a call if that helps. So such channels exist. If any of that, we hope nothing of that sort happens here, but if it does, there are ways to handle that. So please reach out to us or Cares, or find more information at this link here. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Ranveer.
Thank you, Neerja and Aditya. So it was a pleasure working this year as a program committee chair. I worked with representing Radhika and myself. So Radhika couldn't make it here. She was on her way here yesterday. She was with Brighton at the airport, and then she called in saying there was someone in her house who had exposure, and so she didn't want to come for our safety. But Radhika is watching us online. Thank you, Radhika. So this year we had 26 experts in the program committee across academia, across industry, and venture capital as well. We had Martin as part of our program committee, and a lot of the feedback looked at the overall, not just the technical depth of the paper, but also the impact that it could have broadly. So for selecting the papers, we had 104 submissions this year. In round one, all papers received 3 reviews. We rejected 38 papers, 68 papers advanced to round 2. In round 2, each paper got at least 2 reviews, and in some cases, we also reached out to external experts. If you were one of them, thank you for providing the extra expertise. 10 of these papers were pre-accepted before the program committee. We had a virtual PC meeting this year where we discussed 39 papers and accepted 22 for a total of 32 papers that were accepted this year. So we put all the papers together in 9 sessions. Each session has 3 or 4 papers. The papers have a 10-minute presentation followed by 2 or 3 minutes of Q&A. If you have any questions that are broadly about the theme of the session, please hold on to it because we have a panel at the end of the session where we'll be discussing these papers as a broader theme in bigger detail. One of the things that Radhika and I wanted to reinforce is that rather than going in details about each paper, we would love to have a broader discussion to see where the community is headed. What are these big topics in that field? What are the problems that the community should be working on? And towards that, not just for ourselves, we actually asked GPT-3 as well. We fed it the paper titles from this year, and Radhika and I asked the question, what would be the Hotman's paper titles for next year? You can see some of these were expected, like, towards the resilient, secure, and performance software-defined networking architecture, or to the benefits of an open and secure data plane. And some of that, which is kind of obvious, the last one, if you look at it, the future of networking is in the cloud. Well, I'm sure we can all do better and look forward to the panel discussions at the end of each session. Thank you, and hope you all have a fun Hotnets.